The Great Barrier Reef is in the midst of yet another mass bleaching event, the fifth in the last 8 years. Aerial surveys indicate roughly 2/3 of the reef are showing signs of bleaching attributed to above average sea temperatures. We've got to find out more about this. So joining us from Brisbane to explain further is Dr. Selena Ward, a coral reef biologist from the University of Queensland. A very good morning to you, Selena, but some dire times for the Great Barrier Reef.
Good morning, Nate. Yes, it's another sad story with another bleaching event.
Look, we've talked about this before. How extensive is this current event?
Well, the surveys are still being done, but we know that 2/3 of the reef so far are experiencing bleaching events. It's a bit too early to know how severe it's going to be. The surveys are ongoing, but it's certainly, there's a lot in the south, which we haven't seen so much in the more recent bleaching events, but all the way up to the north of the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay, so essentially from top to bottom is what we're keeping an eye on. What is it that's driving this bleaching?
This bleaching's been driven by a marine heat wave, so we've had very warm temperatures this summer over a long period of time, and that's caused this bleaching event.
And what's that been driven by, the heating?
By climate change, by our emissions, without doubt, yes.
And combined, of course, with the El Nino as well. So that generally drives warmer temperatures around the globe anyway. And actually, we've got record heat in the oceans right now.
Yes.
Selena, can you explain to us just exactly what is bleaching for people who might not understand?
So corals have tiny single-celled algae that live inside their cells. They photosynthesize in there and provide corals with up to 100% of their energy needs. Now, in a marine heat wave, those corals lose a great percentage of those tiny algae and become pale, and this cuts down the amount of energy the corals have.
Right, so does a bleaching necessarily mean that the coral's dead?
No, bleached corals don't necessarily die. It depends how warm it is and how long it lasts.
Right, so there could be some hope for recovery for at least some parts of the reef.
We always hope so, yes. So reefs are very good at recovering. It's just a matter of giving them time to do that. Because even if they don't die, they still tend to be affected by the bleaching event in terms of being a bit weaker, having less strength for competition. Reproduction can be delayed, that sort of thing.
Okay, so we've got people doing aerial surveys. Are scientists also in the water checking out the health?
They are, yes, but of course this takes time, so it'll take time to get the full idea of the scope of the bleaching.
Do you have any kind of idea about when we might know?
Not really. In terms of the amount of mortality, we're probably a couple of months away from knowing that, and a lot will depend on what happens to the temperatures locally in the next month or so too.